3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh!
Wow.
Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Happy Monday, everybody. 3 Count Thursday. Jim and Ryan on a special Monday afternoon here talking some pro wrestling and some news, some big news. I don't have the soundboard loaded because I'm operating on a limited screens today. I love you. I love that you still have that shirt, by the way, Ryan. I wore that one out years ago. But yeah, obviously, if you have not heard today, the WWE and NBC Universal announced. I have the press release, but first, I guess, Ryan, how are you doing today on a Monday?
Real good. Took the day off. There's some news that's quite frankly interrupting me Monday. I don't love that.
Right. It is disrupting the memes a bit today, but
I think we have 4, maybe 5 loaded still for today. We're gonna get them in.
But yeah, I mean, this news came out, I think, well before you were awake, seeing as you weren't at work. So we were able to get the big stuff out of the little stuff out of the way before we get to our memes. But yeah, this is the big news. It broke this morning. This is from the press release on WWE's corporate page. Peacock and WWE today announced a multi-year agreement that gives Peacock exclusive streaming rights to the WWE Network in the United States. NBC Universal has a long-standing relationship with WWE that began nearly 30 years ago. With Monday Night Raw on USA, they have always tapped into WWE has always tapped into the cultural zeitgeist with spectacular live events and larger-than-life characters. And we are thrilled to be the exclusive home for WWE Network and its millions of fans across the country. Executive Vice President and Chief Revenue Officer of Peacock, Rick Cordella, said. These are the details of the launch and those sort of things that I think are important. Peacock will launch WWE Network on March 18th, beginning the rollout of more than 17,000 hours of new, original, and library WWE Network programming on demand and on 24/7 channel, including all live pay-per-view events, including WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Fastlane will be the first WWE pay-per-view to stream on Peacock on Sunday, March the 21st. Original series like Steve Austin Broken Skull Sessions, Undertaker Last Ride, and the all-new WWE icons. In-ring shows like NXT, NXT UK, WWE 205 Live, as well as replays of Raw and SmackDown. WWE Network archives, including every WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view event in history. Groundbreaking documentaries, including WWE 24, WWE Untold, and WWE 365. And starting in 2022, one signature documentary annually. The companies will share details on managing customer accounts closer to the Peacock launch in March. WWE Network, including all pay-per-views, will be available on Peacock Premium for $4.99 a month, whereas, and then also on for that is not ad-free. Those will have ads. And then for an ad-free Peacock Premium Plus will be $9.99, which is, of course, what people are paying now for the WWE Network. There hasn't been an official statement on the monetary value of this deal, although Wall Street Journal was reporting from a source close to the situation that it is around $1 billion. That is B with a B, billion dollars. So yeah. Like here and like I just think about like over the 6 years we've been doing this show, and it was right around the time that the WWE Network first launched, because I think the first, well, no, was it the first was it right after the first WrestleMania 30? I can't even remember, to be totally honest. I think it was right after. But our podcast has been around about the same amount of time as the WWE Network, and for the longest time we've heard about their, the prices is going to go up. They're going to move to like the tiered format. How much are you willing to pay for the WWE Network? All of this, and now, we're in a situation where the network, as we know it here in the U.S. Now, let's head that off at the pass, because we did have a question on the Facebook page about how is this going to affect international viewers. Per the release, it has, from the article we posted this morning from Variety, the international is not changing in any way. So however you get the WWE Network outside of the United States, you will continue to get the network in the same fashion as of this current time. So this only affects network users in the United States. So to me, it's I look at this deal and so many people, and I have been impressed, Ryan, with the internet wrestling community and wrestling Twitter in the majority today has taken this pretty positively. Like I haven't seen too much of this is stupid. Why? I don't understand this. Like overall, I think people have handled this in a fairly positive manner. Like, to you, I mean, what do you think about that? I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. I don't think there's a loser on either side of the situation.
Jim, I can't for the life of me think of a way that this, I don't see any cons to this at all. I think there's a ton to unpack that I hope you and I will be able to do over the next 30 minutes or so. I think people are afraid of what the interface is going to look like. Maybe people that don't have the cock, and want to still watch the WWE, they're going to have to get the cock. And I hope that's okay that we call it that. Is that an appropriate?
I mean, if you want to shorten it to that, I'm not gonna stop you. I will not call it the cock. It is Peacock.
But you have the cock, right?
I have Peacock because I get it through my Xfinity.
So Xfinity users get free cock.
Get free Peacock service, yes.
Correct.
And
beforehand, you were saying, and I quote, Ryan, I love the cock.
Now, you see, right, I wasn't going to open the soundboard. I really was not going to open the soundboard today, but I feel like you're kind of forcing my hand.
I'm not trying to.
No,
did we record that? We didn't record that for Patreon, did we? So it's just my word against your word. Is that right? We didn't record that?
No, we didn't record anything prior to this.
I'm a sausage guy.
Great. So it's your word versus my word.
And your words
I'm a sausage guy.
My words are also that of the better friend who wouldn't lie.
Well, that's true.
While on live on Facebook and our podcast destinations to listen to our beautiful voices. Jim, this is such a win for everybody.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to Peacock, you're probably doing so for the either $5 or $10, and you subscribe to the WWE Network for the.
There's apparently like free. I don't know what is or isn't on free versus paid Peacock service, because again, I've had it since before it rolled out to like the general public, because like you don't have to be an Xfinity subscriber to get it, obviously. But I've had it since even before it rolled out. So I
had like the beta cock.
Yes, that you could say that. So I don't know what's on there differently than from free to paid. $4.99, of course, with ads, $9.99 without. But like personally, and I don't use it. I don't use it a lot, but like I don't know that I've ever experienced ads, and I've watched stuff because I'll explain a little bit. So when you log on to it, either if for Xfinity, you can get it through your Xfinity Home. Like you can just use your voice remote and say Peacock and it brings up the service, or you can link it to so you can get the app on your phone, any device on you can watch it on your computer. You can link that to your Xfinity account, so you can use it anywhere. And when you bring it up, there's a home page, and then you can scroll to the left, and that brings up like their quote unquote live channels that always have programming going. So there's like a Today Show 24/7. There's news. There's Dan Patrick channel, or like a sports talk channel that has Dan Patrick show, Rich Eisen show. There's an SNL channel that just like shows just all old SNL bits, like and it's like random. Like when I pulled it up today, it had it was from like when Jimmy Fallon hosted the Christmas episode, like I don't know, 8 years ago or something, and it was like the Twin Bed song with like the digital short, and then it like jumped back to like a Gumby from back in the 80s, and then it jumped to like a Chris Farley sketch in the 90s. So it's all over the place.
It's sketch by sketch, broken down.
Yeah, it's sketch by sketch. It doesn't air like full episodes. Now you can access full episodes. There's also like a Unsolved Mysteries channel. It has like the old creepy guy, the old like 80s and 90s Unsolved Mysteries. So there's that. Then if you scroll to the right, you can get all of their on-demand programming, movies, shows, things like that. And there's along the top as well, it's broken down lifestyle, entertainment, sports, stuff like that. So to me, because I know there's people that are like, well, I don't want to have to scroll past, The Office and Cheers and all of this to find WrestleMania. So what I imagine, and we don't know this for sure. This is me just speculating, because all of these details are going to be announced as the next couple weeks, month or so come along. But I will imagine that somewhere on the homepage, or as you scroll to the right, there will be just a link that takes you to the WWE Network. And I would imagine, because there's been a lot of work put into the format of the WWE Network as we know it. It changed a few times. I think it changed a bit last year. They rolled out like the new design, I think was last year. And I know you didn't like that because you don't like change. But like a lot of work was put into that. So I don't think they're just going to throw that out and make you work extra hard for your WWE Network service. So I would imagine it is still going to be relatively easy to access and to find. I don't imagine that this is going to be something that is challenging or difficult or whatever. And to me, I look at it as this: like right now on the WWE Network, you get ads. Like if I go on and I go to watch, a classic Royal Rumble or an Icons, a WWE 24, whatever. If I click on that, it brings up an ad or two at the start before it goes into the programming. So, and that's for $9.99 a month. So if that's what we get at the $4.99 Peacock Premium tier, then it is going to be no different than what we have now with the WWE Network. And you do have the option of ponying up an extra $5 a month to what you're already paying for the WWE Network to get it without ads. Like it just, I don't, for those that don't like it, but with the exception of change, which again, we get that with you.
And I'm really excited for this.
You know,
I mean, I don't know what's not to be excited about. You know, you're going to get, for the same price of $9.99, you're going to get more bang for your buck in the United States. Everything seems to be staying the same. I just went to the Peacock channel. Again, make sure you type in the full word peacocktv.com.
Oh, okay.
We're not shortening it there.
Originally typed. Did you just Google search?
I just Google search Peacock.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not searching like Cock TV. I think that's something very different. It's either all roosters or something else. It seems like they have put so much emphasis around The Office. When you break down the first, they sure did. The first thing they look at under Peacock Premium is every episode of The Office. Like, that is their big selling point, and that's something just this year they took away from Netflix.
So when you open, you get trending. So it has, news stories, things like that.
Oh, okay. No, you're on the app. I'm on the website.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the app. Then if you scroll to the left, then you have news channels. You see there's a live news feed. There's a bunch of channels you can scroll from. But if you go to browse, then that's where you have The Office at the top. But you can see at the top, there's, movies, TV shows, kids, news, sports, Latino, like that. Those are the things all along the top. And then you have everything broken down, under that as well, live and upcoming. So it's very similar to most streaming services.
Sure. I mean, again, The Office was put on there, 26 days ago. A big reacquisition. It's an NBC. I think it's an NBC. It was on NBC, right?
Correct.
An NBC property that streamed on Netflix for years that NBC took back and is now on Peacock. What in the future? We're talking a 5-year deal here.
Yeah.
What else will Netflix be losing in these times that were NBC properties that will now be on Peacock? Community was a big NBC show. I'm assuming within the 5-year time frame, we see that off of Netflix onto Peacock. The Blacklist is a big NBC show. Will probably be off of Netflix in that time onto Peacock. This is the way of the world. I feel like we're seeing, I don't want to say the downfall of Netflix, because Netflix does a killer business on a lot of their own properties. Stranger Things, Mindhunter series, things like that. But we're going to see, I think, people stepping away from Netflix heavily over the next 5 years when each broadcast network rolls out their own version of a streaming service. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Here's a question from Jason. If you're watching live and you have questions or concerns that, obviously we're fans. We don't work for WWE, anything like that, but we can give our thoughts.
Not since the incident.
Jason says, I've not used Peacock. Can you be signed into multi TVs or phone apps at the same time? So currently, I am signed in on my phone. I am signed in on a computer. I am signed in on my iPad, and then of course, and I'm signed in on a smart TV. And I have no issues. Like, they haven't told me that I can't be signed in under multiple things. And I tried it this morning. I had it playing from my smart TV and from my phone at the same time.
So yes, Jason, you can share passwords.
Exactly. It's funny.
It was a great question. I'll cut to the chase.
A friend of the show, Ernest EJ Christian, he asked, I saw he posted the other day, because I guess Netflix announced a slight price increase. And he was like, at what point depending on the service, do you say, all right, I've had enough, I'm cutting this one loose? And I said, well, you just have to have a group of friends that everybody trusts. Everybody subscribes to one streaming service, and everybody shares the password.
It's unfortunate, but I think that's where we're at.
And as long as you can get by, he says, that he said it's not why he asked. But it is a valid question, because
that's not why I answered either.
I know, right? It's being funny. So I saw this pop up. Voices of Wrestling tweeted, unless Peacock does tiered or special pricing on pay-per-views, they will essentially cease to be a pro wrestling company and officially and finally just be a sports entertainment content producer. Since when hasn't WWE been that? I'm pretty sure WWE's been that for years. Like, I mean, pretty much since Hulkamania, but I would say even if we're talking the last decade, the last 20 years, I mean, what about the WWE hasn't been a sports entertainment company in the last name the amount of time? Like, you know what I mean?
We've often talked about YouTube clicks and YouTube views, and other ways that the WWE dominates. Maybe they had a slump in the traditional television ratings, but the WWE social media team, the clicks, the retweets, the likes, the views on YouTube, these are all ways that the WWE continues to win. And NBC saw dollar signs for themselves in that. And it's brilliant. And kudos to NBC. Again, I don't see an L anybody. I don't see a loss anywhere in this. Jim, do you have a calculator handy with you real quick?
I mean, I have my phone here. I think
let's open up the old calculator app. Does your phone come with that?
Yeah, I actually do have a calculator.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
For every teacher that told me I wouldn't have a calculator on me at all times, you were wrong.
Nanny boo boo. So back in July of 2020, do you remember back in July we were mid-pandemic? We thought.
Okay, sure, mid. We'll call it mid for now.
Yeah.
Mid-pandemic, early pandemic, whatever.
The WWE released, I think, their most recent numbers, and that was 1.69 million viewers subscribe. Not that number yet, Jim. 1.69 million viewers subscribe to the WWE Network. Of that 1.69 million, 1.229 million are U.S. subscribers. Jim, I want you to take your $9.99, and I want you to multiply that by 12 because I'm a year-long subscriber.
By 12, okay, that's $119.88.
Now, just multiply that number by 1.229 million
times one. Okay, 1,299,000. So 1,299,000.
And that is for how much?
And so hit enter, multiply. Okay, so that comes up at 155,724,120
for 1 year. Now multiply that by 5
times 5. 778,620,600.
And NBC just gave them $1 billion for that.
Yep.
That's a W for the WWE. That is a huge 100%. Win. How could you not think that's a win?
And this is why.
And take your calendar one more time, Jim.
Oh no, should I have cleared that number?
Nope, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Clear it. I don't give a shit.
I cleared it. Thank God.
461,000.
Okay.
Times 999.
Times 999 is 4,605,390.
Times 12 months in a year.
Times 12 months in a year, 55 million.
Times 5 years.
Times 5 is 276 million.
They're still making that from international users.
So
what?
Perfect.
This is a huge W for the WWE. Vince McMahon found the golden goose. Somehow he did it again and took his dead wrestling company that is dead in the water and made $1 billion on a $700 million.
You mean to tell me the guy who took a regional wrestling company to a $1 billion corporation is a good businessman?
Unreal.
Devin says people are just bitching because it changed and it's something to bitch about. Yeah, absolutely. Jason here says don't have a clue what the Peacock and WWE Network thing is, but this show rocks. There's no reason to bring up AEW.
We didn't. Did we even bring it up?
We didn't. I swear we didn't.
Did we? I don't even remember saying those initials in this.
We did not. I didn't. I know that. And here's the thing, and I know everybody loves ratings talk, and we've been force fed it for years with the Monday Night Wars and the documentary, and now we have the Wednesday Night Wars. But when I have said for a long time, and I've taken a pretty strong stance that ratings don't really matter that much. Things like today are exactly what I mean. Because, like, again, if you are a shareholder of the WWE and you have a lot of money invested, you may be a little concerned if ratings don't match up to what you want them to. If you are a advertiser, you may be concerned if ratings are slipping. And if you are a USA Network, you may be concerned about certain things. However, if you are a casual fan, this is why I have stressed that, like, to me, and this again, to me, they don't matter for shit. Because the thing that I want is I have loved WWE since I was 4 years old. And I still love it to this day. And I want it to be there for me when I turn on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, pay-per-views, etc. And I've wanted the WWE Network. Since we've had the network, I like that the network's there. It's comfort. I can go to it at any time.
Sure.
Days, regardless of how everybody feels about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, any of their programming, the pay-per-views, etc. This shows A, none of it's going anywhere, and B, WWE's doing just fine. They are literally printing money. Raw's had what? Their worst, like, how many times in the last 6 months have we seen worst rating number ever? And they just got a $1 billion contract.
Right.
Like, if you're talking about ratings incessantly and you're obsessed with them, you're gimmicking yourself. Because it truly doesn't matter. This rhetoric has been around for years now about how bad the WWE is doing and how they're going to die. And there's other companies that are going to come and take WWE away from us, and they're going to be the new kings of wrestling. $1 billion with a B.
Yeah.
Like, no company in pro wrestling / sports entertainment is sniffing anywhere near that number.
Jim, let me, and I totally agree with you. I think I don't want to say ratings don't matter at all, because I'm definitely not in that camp. I think we can even do it. I think you can go back through our 5-year history and see maybe things that have worked and didn't work for our podcast, and look at like views, weekly views, things like that. Like that, there is something to ratings. It is not the end all be all like it used to be. We're never going to have professional wrestling do 5s and 6s in ratings ever again.
Exception of like
the old Monday Night War, where ratings actually mattered.
There's not
never going to happen again.
Those numbers. I mean, live sports.
That's about it.
And the political shit that we've watched for the last 6 months.
Right. That's it.
Like that. Show me anything that's really getting.
But let's move a year from now. That political shit's not going to matter. Right. It only matters every 4 years.
Every 4. Yeah.
Right. Jim, here's something, and I saw, and I think they have something to it. That this is the WWE firmly becoming the McDonald's of sports entertainment. Yeah. That maybe it's not the best food. You can absolutely find other food other places, but they're the ones with $1 billion sold.
I mean, I had
Burger King, AEW serves burgers.
I had McNuggets
and chicken nuggets, right?
And they were delicious.
Sure.
I had an Egg McMuffin yesterday for
like a Big Mac a whole lot.
I love an Egg McMuffin. It is like, and every time, like, because like Burger King came out with like the Impossible sandwich.
Oh, sure.
I like the Impossible meats. They're delicious. Wendy's just came out with breakfast nationwide.
Sure.
Wendy's, I had the breakfast Baconator. It is so good. Like, blew me away. The breakfast Baconator blew me away.
Sure.
Yesterday, I got 2 breakfast burritos and an Egg McMuffin. And when I bit into that Egg McMuffin, there is still nothing. There is not a breakfast sandwich,
right,
from a food chain.
So good.
That is better than an Egg McMuffin. To me, it is perfect.
Right.
Toasted muffin, Canadian bacon, fresh egg patty. and the cheese slice.
It's the reason it's the #1 value meal.
Like,
Right.
Is it the best artisan breakfast with farm-bred eggs and, heirloom tomatoes and, these well-crafted potatoes that have been grown in the perfectly fertilized soil? No.
It's not. But that also doesn't sell billions of sandwiches. Right.
And don't get me wrong, that's probably a great breakfast. And I love that breakfast.
Sure.
I could eat breakfast all the time.
Absolutely.
If I want an egg McMuffin,
but that heirloom Lucha Underground thing is great to a small audience.
Absolutely. And I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking
Absolutely
any
not.
other breakfast in the world away. But that egg McMuffin is going nowhere.
You're right. And here's the deal. That Wendy's breakfast, who's kind of re-picking that brand up a bit, I don't know, Impact Wrestling breakfast. Yeah, that's a great breakfast. And it's really, really good. But you go out and you ask anybody, hey, name me a fast food restaurant. They're going to say McDonald's. You go out and say, hey, name me a wrestling company. They're going to say the WWE.
See, now, Jason, you keep bringing them up. We didn't bring them up.
You know what?
It's more like a 7-Eleven hot dog.
And sometimes that 7-Eleven hot dog that sat in the roller grease all day.
I was saying, I've gone into, well, they used to be Hess stations. Now, apparently, it's a Marathon here in town.
Yeah, isn't that shit?
Yeah.
7-Eleven ended up buying them, and then they labeled them the Marathon brand.
Yeah. Now, so we have a Marathon, but I've gone into Turkey Hill. I've gone into Wawa. I guess Wawa doesn't even have a hot dog roller. So like Turkey Hill Hess station
doesn't either. But I love the Sheetz hot dogs.
Yeah,
I mean they do. They have to get it for you.
But like, man, the hot dog off of a roller. I love a hot dog off of a roller.
I'll eat one, absolutely. Especially if it's got that chili and cheese sitting next to it. That's fucking sat there at 100 degrees all day.
Oh yeah, don't get that cheese on your hand though.
Oh, it'll burn like hell.
Second-degree burn.
It sure will. But like that was a great analogy, and that's absolutely true. And there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, here's
nothing wrong with being successful and being worldwide brand.
No,
and being mass produced and mass consumed. That's what the WWE is.
Yeah. I pulled up some questions from our Facebook post earlier because that got a lot of reaction. Obviously, if you have questions here, leave them in the comments. We'll get to them. But Jason says, where do you guys feel NXT ends up with this news plus the news about NBC Sports shutting down? I've seen Hockey may cause NXT to move. Do you think it goes to another night or back to the cock? Well, yeah, that's another thing, and it was something that I was going to talk about this Thursday night on 3 Count Thursday. Anyway,
we're doing a Thursday show too.
We're still doing Thursday this week, right?
Oh God, did we put out a question of the week yet?
Yeah, it's dropping actually within the half hour.
God, I gotta pay attention. All right, thank you.
But it's okay.
Write it down.
You don't need to pay attention to the question of the week this week because
yes, I always do because you end up bringing it up Thursday and I'm not prepared and I'm pissed off. Don't talk over me. I'm upset.
The question of the week this week has to do with Royal Rumble predictions, which we're going to be doing anyway.
You got lucky.
So you don't need to put the listeners do. The people who follow our page do. But last week, I think it was Friday, it was reported that NBC is going to be shutting down NBC Sports Network, which came from Versus, which originally came out of the Outdoor Channel.
Oh,
and that's where like the NHL broadcast and so I know the NHL does Wednesday nights on NBC Sports. So immediately I start going, well, that's probably going to have it because it said that they're going to do more games on regular NBC on weekends, but then probably USA and or like CNBC for hockey games during the week. So I'm like, well, if they do Wednesday night hockey like they always do, and they move that to USA as we've seen in the playoffs, that might bump NXT. And so I'm like, do they change nights? Do they move to Tuesday? Do they move to Thursday? Do they just go back to the WWE Network? With this announcement, personally, I would not be surprised if NXT just goes to being on the WWE Network on Peacock and it goes back to Wednesday night. I'm sure that the COVID god Chris Jericho will eat that shit up, as will the marks of that program who love it and are looking for any way to shit on the WWE. But again, we've talked about the war is fan created and Jericho created. But I'm sure Tony and Chris will eat that shit up. But I personally, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to the network. What about you,
James? Do you have the news release pulled up still?
Yes.
Can you read what it will contain? Because it did not say replays of NXT. It said NXT,
NXT UK, and WWE 205 Live, as well as replays of Raw and SmackDown.
There you have it. I think it's already out that NXT is going to stream.
But here's the thing, too. That's also assuming that NBC gets the rights to the NHL, because their contract expires at the end of this season.
Mm-hmm.
And NBC Sports is supposed to shut down between now and the end of this year. Again, we just started the new year, so that is going to lead itself with some time. So that there is a possibility that NBC doesn't get the NHL back, and all of this discussion is moot anyway. But it's something we will obviously keep an eye on, and keep people up to date and update it as we can. Let's see here.
So you think the NHL will finish up the season on NBC Sports?
As long as NBC Sports is still a thing, the NHL will continue to operate, I would assume, as it has been. Now, if they put the axe on it in, April when the playoffs start, or May when the playoffs start, then we may have to look at something. And it's going to bump at times in the playoffs like it has in years past anyway. So don't be surprised when NXT Wednesday goes on the network.
Sure. Now, real quick, I'm just curious on a ratings point of view, Jim, how popular is NHL on something like the NBC Sports Net?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think it does more than around the 500,000 to 700,000 that NXT does.
Okay. Under a million, probably.
It depends on the game. I think like the Flyers Penguins game that reopened the current season, did over 1 million, and it was like one of their higher broadcasts in a couple of years. So, for a regular season game. But again, off the top of my head, I don't have the numbers.
Sure.
Scott here says, what do you think about WWE trying to get some surprise entries for the Rumble after firing half the wrestlers in pro wrestling? I mean, there's always going to be surprise superstars for the Rumble. I think now, because and this was going to be something I was going to bring up on Thursday as well, but I didn't necessarily think that this year's WrestleMania you were going to have huge draw matches, because you were going to have like half capacity between 25,000-30,000 fans, and I think people are going to be chomping at the bit to get out there. But now maybe with this new partnership, NBC and Peacock and the network, they're going to be looking. They're going to want to get maybe a lot of new subscribers coming into their second pay-per-view on the new service. So maybe you are going to look at some bigger things. Like I think John Cena is probably going to be in play. I think the possibility of Becky Lynch is in play. Ronda Rousey's in play. Brock Lesnar's in play. If I'm CM Punk, I'm probably going to take a call from Stanford if it pops up on my phone, because there's going to be a lot of money at play here. But we'll discuss that more on Thursday night.
I mean, let's also not forget MVP was fired once and came back in a Rumble spot, and then the Raw after, and then all of a sudden has a huge 2020. I mean,
a lot of people have been fired and have
right.
Come back.
It's I think the nature of the business. Obviously, the Revival is not coming back. Matt Hardy's not coming back. They are doing something else. But I don't think, I think that was a bit of a loaded question. But people come back. Money talks.
Jason says, don't worry about the question of the week, Ryan. You still won the Know Your Bro better. Jim swindled us into thinking he was a good person and cared about others, but you prevailed.
Goodness always prevails.
Jason asks, another Jason asks, one last question. Who has the better deal, Fox or Peacock? Both. If that's an option. I mean, Fox paid, was it $1 billion? It was close to, I don't remember the exact terms on the Fox WWE deal. But I mean, it seems to be paying off well for them. SmackDown's done pretty good for them. It's had some pretty huge numbers. I mean, they're very different because as of right now, it doesn't change WWE's, USA broadcast. Like this is very different than a standard TV contract, as it were. I mean, it could morph into that, but I mean, it's something that WWE's been in business with for a long time.
I feel like the Peacock absolutely wins this. There's going to be a switchover day eventually, and obviously there will be some people that drop this, but 1.229 million folks are going to swing from this to continue subscribing to the WWE content that they enjoy on the world award-winning WWE. So yeah, I think Peacock wins it. And at the end of the day, Peacock has the streaming rights for the replays of a Fox show in SmackDown.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you're not watching NBC stuff on Fox. You're watching a Fox program on an NBC program.
That's a great point as well. I mean, I think it comes in about a month later, but still, the funny thing that I've seen, because we've over the years, we've seen a lot of the hashtag cancel WWE Network stuff whenever there's a bad pay-per-view or a booking decision to close a show that people don't like. I've seen a lot of people saying now that they have a $5 a month option and with everything else that you have, The Office, you have some current programming, and stuff like that. People are actually, I've seen more people say that they are going to subscribe for the first time or resubscribe to the WWE Network because it's at a lower price point than they have before. So I mean, that 2 something million subscribers in the US, that may actually go up just from people that are returning or subscribing, wrestling fans for the first time. And that's not even counting, like, if you can do some pretty smart marketing at the bump on this thing for WrestleMania, things that you can get people back in the mix there as well. That's why I said I think over the next 6-8 weeks, I think we have a potential, not only with the Royal Rumble coming up this Sunday, but going into WrestleMania season. I think you have a potential to see a lot of heavy hitters that we haven't seen in a while on WWE program, because all of a sudden a 2-night half crowd WrestleMania could become must see because of this new deal.
And let's not. This just, again, just so many W's. I'm really struggling to find anything negative to say about this, Jim. This could bring back a Saturday night main event.
Oh,
I mean, why couldn't it? And it could be a Peacock exclusive. And again, here you have your Friday night SmackDown on Fox having to promote tomorrow night. Let's not forget about the return of Saturday night main event. Peacock wins again. The cock is strong. The cock is hard.
Whoa, easy there.
The cock will win.
And see here, Zach on Twitter says, I hope the Peacock move means we can download shows for offline viewing. I know Peacock has the feature for its $10 subscription. And this would be great for flights, drive-through, dead zones, and internet outages. Yeah, so
great call.
There's something that if you go with the ad-free version and pay, again, what you are currently paying for the WWE Network,
right?
Then that is a potential upsell there. Great point there by Zach.
There's a W.
Yeah, that's a W.
A potential W, I guess, maybe, unless you can't do it. But
Jason says, will we get our first month free like the new folks on the WWE? Well, actually, they took that away a couple months ago, so that actually hasn't been a thing.
It's a shame. You hate to
for
see
a while. On Facebook, Nick had asked, he said, if I read things right, basically Vince creates a network. It never took off to get 1 million viewers plus, but not the numbers they really wanted. Again, that could be rumor and innuendo. Still saw profits for it, and then turns around, sells it to NBC Universal for $1 billion, effectively killing the network per se. Made a killing business wise. I swear he's gotten the golden touch for business. Just wish he would treat his independent contractors better. That's a whole nother battle.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Checking in with us live. Again, I'm going to give a little shout out to Ernest and the boys, the Earnestly Speaking podcast. That's his solo pod. and the Take 3 Wrestling podcast is a great weekly listen. So make sure you
Jim, I love good guys doing good wrestling podcasts.
Yeah. So you got them guys, of course, Tim and their Final Wrestling Place. They're new in the viewer's choice on North South Connection. That one is fantastic. I love the Royal Rumble 94 episode.
So good.
A great episode
listen. Yes.
Of Final Wrestling Place just dropped today.
Yes, I listened to it this morning on my walk.
Oh, did you walk this morning?
I walk almost every day. Yeah, I'm not at work today, so I needed to get the walk in.
Very good. So like here's the thing. Like you can say it kills the WWE Network here because in a sense it does.
It
the
sure
WWE
does.
Network as we know it is going away, but the same network, the very same WWE Network is just moving over here. So it's
Plus
like
you get to watch the White Schrute.
Like I have a candle. It's in my left hand.
Let me see it. There it is.
So it's in my left hand.
That's a nice candle. What's the scent?
Vanilla Bean Noel from Bath.
I love a good Bath and Body Works candle.
I don't light them because I'm afraid I'm gonna like leave them on and burn down Studio L. So
I get it.
What I do is I put it right by a fan. I have a little desktop fan, and it just blows. So it just blows the scent. But now it's in my right hand, so it's dead in my left hand.
Dead. It's not there anymore.
Very same candle.
Wait, what's the scent now though?
It is still Vanilla Bean Noel.
Wow.
Very same one. Another good one I have though, and I have it down here, is the hot cocoa and cream.
Oh, you like the sweet candles?
Smells delicious. So yeah, the network as we know it is gone.
I don't know what happened to my candle. I used to have a candle up here. Oh well. Bourbon and bow ties was a great scent.
He says the scent is what the Rock's cooking. How did WWE never make that candle? Like seriously,
I don't know if we ever found out what the Rock was cooking. That's the problem.
My aunt there now. That is Aunt DeStefano. They had Rant with Aunt and the Rant Foundation. Those are no longer a thing, but he's doing some really cool stuff on Twitch, including an eFed that does Thursday nights every week. I think it's Thursday evenings, and then like they're doing like pay-per-views as well. So make sure you go and follow him.
I'm pretty sure we met Ant down at the Icons Fest.
Yeah, you and Matt did. Yeah, I wasn't.
Right, yeah.
You guys met Ant. Great dude.
We left without you, Jim. You were taking too long the morning in the shower, and we said we got to go.
It happens. It just it absolutely does.
I had the best breakfast sandwich down in Philly.
You were telling me about. Was it pork roll?
It was fresh cracked egg fried on a croissant with pork roll. Oh my god. Fresh cheese. It was so good. Holy cow. Right there in the Reading Market. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the Reading Terminal Market. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see here. Now this one of our listeners from the UK says, "What the fuck is Peacock?" And so I said it was their NBC streaming service. She said, "Will this affect the UK?" And again, no. This is the deal today is strictly for WWE Network subscribers in the United States. So Canada, UK, all your Nordic countries, everywhere across the world, wherever you have the network, you will not have any change as of right now to your WWE Network. This is strictly for the US subscribers. Brian
at a price of $1 billion it's unbelievable how much they win here.
Spend his last $7 cooking. Jason, wait, a fan, a candle. How the F does that work? The Rock's new show will also be. Oh, that's right. The new what is it? Life of Rock or something like that.
It's young Rock or
Young
something.
Rock. Yeah, that. I mean, here's the thing. I'll. Yes, we do, Jason. We have UK.
Oh, come on, Jason.
Dude, you know what? I wish I could. I wish I could boot him. No. Cousin Brian says so. Basically, current WWE Network subscribers will get the same as now, plus the ad-free premium Peacock for no extra cost. Again, that's if. And the details of the crossover are going to be announced. We don't know exactly how this is going to happen yet. The money just goes to NBC instead of WWE. He says, sounds like a deal to me. Yeah. So again, to reiterate, Peacock Premium, which has ads, is $4.99 a month. Peacock Premium Plus, no ads. That is your $9.99 mark. And apparently on that $9.99 one, you can you can get it where you can do the offline viewing. You can download things, such as you can on a lot of other streaming platforms, so you can watch them on flights and things like that. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as well. So there was a lot of questions today.
Oh wait, Letterkenny is on Peacock, right?
That's on.
I'm fairly certain that's on Peacock.
No, that's on Hulu, unless it's
is it
Peacock?
I just quickly looked up Peacock shows. It also shows that Stranger Things has the 3 seasons up there. So I don't know. It shows 5 seasons of Letterkenny.
Okay, so maybe it has some older one. Well, I searched Letterkenny and nothing came up on Peacock, so I don't.
Oh, geez. Okay, well maybe I'm not doing this right.
Yeah, that may not be not be accurate. So just some of the shows. Now again, they're
here I go spreading bullshit again.
I mean, they're current shows like Mr. Mayor, that is a new show with Ted Danson. But like these are some of the old shows that you get on there. You have The Office, you have Parks and Rec.
Both are fantastic shows if you've not seen them.
Chicago Fire, current show, Little House on the Prairie. These are some Peacock originals. The new Saved by the Bell, which has been renewed for a 2nd season. Save Me, Code 404, Departure, AP Bio, just to name a few. Any current NBC programs, Law and Order SVU, Dateline, all the Chicago shows, This Is Us, Superstore, The Wall. I mean, literally all of the NBC programming you can get.
There it is. Superstore is a great show too. If you've never caught that, that's if you've worked in retail and you've not caught it, what's wrong with you? If you're not, it gives you a real glimpse into working retail.
So it's a fairly accurate portrayal.
Very accurate.
I may have to dig into that. And there's movies on here as well. Like just bring up a few casinos on there. Cape Fear.
I heard House is on there because it's a Universal program.
Yeah, I guess it would be Baby Mama, Funny People, Knocked Up. I mean, classic movies. Half Baked, Major Pain.
Major Pain. That's a selling point right there. I'm going to sign up right now.
They have Peacock original films and documentaries that are on there. Zombieland's on there. Love Zombieland. Ooh. So I mean, there's a ton of programming. Howard the Duck, They Live. Is on Peacock.
There it is.
The Meaning of Life, Cabin Fever. So again, just tons of programming. But the thing to remember too, right now that they have not yet released details about how current WWE Network subscribers will be transferred over. Now, it could either be that your login and everything will just automatically cross over. What I imagine is your service with WWE Network will be canceled. You'll have to just sign up. The sign up is super easy. We've all done it for countless everything on the internet. And you'll, and then it will just go month to month and you'll probably forget about it like you do the WWE.
Time to forget a new password.
Let's see here. Jason says maybe we'll see superstars in NBC shows going forward. Would love another SNL assert. Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if, coming between now and the launch of this, because they only announced there's going to be 5 straight Saturday Night Live episodes starting this week. They've announced 3 of the 5 hosts. Ooh. So I would not be shocked if at some point during the remainder of this season of SNL, we don't have a WWE superstar hosting it. Because again,
Jim, who do you book for that? If you were NBC,
I actually might go Sasha Banks.
Ooh, okay.
Because you have the Snoop connection, you have the fact that she is a women's champion, and you have the fact that she was in The Mandalorian right now that is out. So I think there's a lot of cross promotion there. Who do you think? Who would you pick right now?
Jim, I love that. I wasn't even thinking Sasha Banks. That's brilliant. I don't know who I would pick. I really don't. I don't know. Who did they announce?
I know John Krasinski's hosting this week.
Okay.
From The Office. I forget who
So that's right into the Peacock.
Well, I think he was supposed to be in a movie or a show coming out, but it's been delayed because of COVID.
Oh, for real? Oh, okay. I mean, if The Rock has a show that's going to be on the Peacock. I
Well,
think I go
with Young Rock coming out. They could bring him back.
I go the Rock connection, and then you can tie in WWE superstars like they did before, Triple H in the crowd, things like that. So yeah, I would go Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, wouldn't be terribly surprised at any of that.
But boy, Sasha's a great call, Jim. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I just thought of that because if you're heading towards WrestleMania, I feel like and I don't know, maybe Charlotte, if Charlotte and Ronda Rousey is going to be like I projected the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania, maybe Charlotte hosts.
Charlotte could do it.
The Raw Women's Champion. Like I don't think you put Roman because of the character he's playing right now. I don't necessarily know that Drew McIntyre is going to connect with a lot of people outside the wrestling window.
You could go Gilbert.
You could.
Dwayne Gill.
You could go Gilbert. Jason says Alexa and Asuka. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously now that I think they announced this week is on Raw tonight is the Raw Women's title match. Do you think you see a title change to Alexa? I don't think she needs it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think she needs it either, but that's a cool wrinkle.
I think the Raw Women's title needs to move off of Asuka, or the tag team titles need to move off Charlotte and Asuka.
That I agree with.
So maybe they move the Raw Women's title tonight.
That's interesting. I really just didn't consider it, but that adds a really cool wrinkle to the Alexa and Bray.
Oh, Jason says he meant for SNL Asuka dancing for the whole show.
That's fine. I'd watch.
Why not? Why not?
And just yelling in like Japanese and English and just yell. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it.
So yeah, we had a lot of great questions, a lot of great thoughts, but I think the bottom line here is
W baby.
Yeah, 100%. Oh damn, Devin says the New Day hosting.
Oh, that's really good too.
That would be awesome.
That's real damn good.
That would be real good. Good call. Good call, Devin.
About time he has a good call. Oh, Devin, I love you. I just mess with you.
But yeah, I mean, any last minute thoughts, questions on this WWE network moving to Peacock in March? Again, the move is scheduled to take place March 18th. Will be the first date that Peacock will launch the WWE Network, the first pay-per-view. And I also like that they're doing this, and it kind of makes sense that they're throwing Fastlane into the mix. Put your first pay-per-view on the new WWE Network on Peacock out before WrestleMania, so you can figure out if there's any issues, stuff like that.
Sure.
Now, I mean, I would assume that NBC has a pretty solid infrastructure for their streaming platform, but you're probably going to have a bit more people than normal on this one than you're used to. So this will be a good test of the network. That'll be playing on March the 21st.
I'm not sure if anything has ever dropped on Peacock that's going to demand that much of a pull that a WWE pay-per-view is going to do at one time. Everybody at 7 o'clock, bam. Or 8 o'clock if you're me, because I forget about it.
We'll have to have a Peacock account, or will our existing WWE? This is a great question, and we did hit on this, but we've had people coming on at various times. Sure. Daniel asked, will we have to have a Peacock account, or will our existing network account work on there? That has yet to be announced, Daniel. The WWE and Peacock will be announcing details like that here in the coming weeks. We will post the updates as we see them, but stick to WWE social media accounts as well. If I had to guess, and again, this is just me guessing, this is not confirmed. My guess is that your WWE Network subscription in the US will be canceled, voided, whatever. You'll have to create a new login for Peacock because Peacock is a separate service. Now, you can probably use your same email address and password so you don't have any confusion or you don't forget anything. But my guess is you'll have to create a new one. Ryan here says, I know there are other annoying alternatives. I wish Peacock was available on Fire Stick. Yeah, I've seen a couple people.
I heard about that too.
Fire Stick. I don't know if it's on Roku. I know it wasn't initially, but they were trying to work out something with Roku to get it. And because my main TV used to be a Roku TV, but then that died. So I haven't looked up to see if Peacock is on. I have a couple of Rokus in the house.
On the Roku app, I just looked it up. You can download the Peacock channel on Roku. Peacock TV
so
is downloadable. Yeah,
that is available now. So yeah. Now Ryan, not you, Ryan Smith, to the question about the Fire Stick. As this is beginning to expand, and this is obviously getting bigger, I would hope that there are some discussions between WWE and NBC Universal and Amazon. I would expect, maybe not initially, but within a couple of months of this rolling out, I would be shocked if Peacock doesn't end up on the Fire Stick. Okay, yeah, Jason confirming that it was on that is on Roku, and Daniel as well. And yeah, and if you have Xfinity like I do, you can access it straight through your Xfinity. You don't even have to like scroll through it. That's the beauty of the voice remote for those that don't have Xfinity. I think DirecTV has a voice remote now. You literally hit a button and you can say Peacock, you can say YouTube, anything. It takes you right to. I love that I'm like moving the remote to my mouth as if I'm activating it in my house. So yeah, you can exit there. Ryan, he says, I hope so. They did just add a HBO Max. So yeah, I think as these services start to get bigger, things will move. Devin says it is on Apple TV as well. So if you're an Apple TV user, Peacock is there. And again, I think as these things become bigger, I mean, NBC just paid $1 billion.
Right.
They're going to want to get this on as many platforms as possible. I will not be shocked if it ends up there.
I mean, NBC could always strong arm Amazon as well and say that's fine. Like if they're not going to get anything in return, you can watch our program on the Roku. Xbox One, I know, has it.
Again, if you have a smart TV,
I think smart TVs, you can download it.
Phone, iPad, computer, and you can cast
Vizio SmartCast, right?
Or if you don't have a smart TV, you can always hook it up to with an HDMI cable, which is a pain. Don't get me wrong, it's a pain, but that option will be there if it doesn't end up there.
And I'm fairly certain on a Fire Stick, and correct me if I'm wrong, that has a browser option. You can probably go to the website, sign in on the Peacock website, and stream that way. It just doesn't have the app for. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I've never
used
like
a workaround.
Yeah, I've never
on
used
a Fire Stick. I might be wrong. Ryan would know best. Not me, other Ryan that was commenting. That might be something worth a shot. Or go down to Walmart and buy a $30 Roku. I know you have a Fire Stick for the reason of it not being a Roku, but
yeah, definitely. He said you're right. So it has a browser thing, so you can get it through there. That's something. Again, I've never used a Fire Stick, so
it adds like 2 steps.
Yeah, and again, I think this will be a temporary situation. I do think Peacock will be on there again. But we're talking $1 billion. They're gonna want to make sure it gets on to services. I just want to check one more time here on Facebook and Twitter, just see if anybody else had any comments or anything. Before we close up the
Jim, I love your shirt, by the way. Take a moment, plug the shirt.
Yeah, Boris War. So if you go to @BorisWar on Twitter, you will find a link to his merchandise channel. It is the Boar of Moldova. Literally and I know we have a deal with Collar and Elbow.
Sure.
Promo code 3COUNT, Collar and Elbow brand store, get 10% off. We get a little kickback there. But literally the most comfortable wrestling shirt I've ever known or I've ever owned. Shirt. And obviously based on the old Raw is War logo.
Great wrestler.
He has a Wolfpack themed one now as well. I think he has a SmackDown themed one, an old SmackDown themed one. So fantastic shirt, and an even better dude. That is the Boar. Well, I guess he's more of he's Mr. Pig. He's not
pig,
a dude,
right? More of a pig.
He's the dude. He's a dude pig,
right?
But yeah, @BorisWar on Twitter.
That should be his next shirt. He's a dude pig.
He's a dude. I'm going to send that.
Dude pig. That's a great. That's a great.
We stumbled into. He's a dude pig. No. So we had the question of the week dropped. I feel we intern. You gotta love our intern. So the question of the week post dropped, and intern Mark says, "Is this the official question of the week?"
He gets it.
There's only ever been one. I still don't understand where you guys have come across that there's been more than one. But that's for an issue to tackle on Thursday. Let's see here. Jason Says you guys need a meme of Vince and Triple H dancing to $1 billion. I'm just sitting here singing billions. Yeah. I think I posted the GIF of was it Mr. McQuack or whatever from the
sure,
jumping into just the vault of money. I said that's Vince McMahon.
That's from DuckTales, right? Is that DuckTales?
That's Vince McMahon today. So Ryan, I think we had a good show here, about an hour.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this to happen.
Dude, I'm super pumped about this.
Sure.
And really, it changes nothing. I mean,
I'm gonna take the $10 that I used to spend right here and just push it to the NBC, and it's gonna be done.
For me, this is easy because because of being unemployed and whatever, I haven't subscribed actively to the WWE Network. I ended my subscription at the end of January or end of December. And now I don't really have to worry about it because again, I have Peacock with my so come March, I'm actually making money.
You're making money here.
I am making $120 a year.
Right. You're taking
and by making money, I mean I'm going to just spend it on other shit.
That's fair. That's not wrong.
Right now, I don't have it.
Because what you're saying is it's easy for you to take the cock, though.
Some could say that, I guess. Some could say. You got anything to add, Ryan? Nope. All right. Well, we're going to close up shop then for today, for Monday. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, interacting with us here. You can follow Ryan at RYN Eagle.
Don't do it. It's not even worth it.
He says don't do it. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports or follow the show at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you, everybody. Listen to us on Thursday night. Again, we are proudly brought to you by NGSC Sports as our home network. Arena Eats. You'll hear from them in a second. Again, we have merchandise at whatamaneuver.net. Also, our Collar and Elbow brand deal. Go to store.collarandelbowbrand.com. And I'm going to bring everything up. You can see all the details, how to follow all of us. And you'll hear from our sponsor, Arena Eats, coming up here in just a second. But until Thursday night, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?